Hi all, and welcome to this installation and modding guide for the game Wolfenstein. And we are talking about the Wolfenstein 2009 edition. So it's the game released after Return to Castle Wolfenstein, but well before the modern day era Wolfenstein games by Machine Studios. And this game is a bit of a rarity these days because of licensing issues. It is almost impossible to get a hold of in other forms than physical. So the game can be a bit pricey, but if you are okay with that and have a copy of it, I will in this video install it on a PC running Windows 11, and after installation we will look into how we can tweak it and make it run smoother, better and more beautiful in all the ways possible. But we will start as always with the installation. So the window you can see here is the window that pops up after putting the physical disk in the driver. And here we have the folder. So I'm simply gonna go into the setup screen here. And we are okay with this. Here we can see the little Wolfenstein pop-up screen, so we know we are on the right path. Also, a lot of these older games can have quite lengthy installation programs, so I will probably edit out some waiting time. But if the same thing happens to you, that it takes a bit of time, often most it's just normal procedure. That's just how things worked back in the day. So there's no need to be overly alarmed unless it starts making weird noises or visibly froze or something like that. So when this black screen popped up, that's a good indication that something has happened. So this is just, am I accepting the license? Yes, I am. Punkbuster, I think this is, yeah, I think this is tied to the multiplayer. So I'm gonna say no. And here we also have the minimum system requirements. This game came out in 2009. So in these days, and I'm recording this in 2025, shouldn't really be a problem, but I think I'll stick these into the video descriptions in any case if you are interested. So we'll click on next. And we have typical and custom. I am a little tempted every time to see what custom means, but in order to keep this as hassle-free as possible, I'm gonna go with the typical. All right, so now, even though it's kind of small, you can hopefully see that the game is actively installing its content onto the computer through the path we picked, and for me, that was the default path. I just wanted to mention some things on this screen because the game installing isn't as cookie cutter simple as I made it sound. I actually had to wait for an hour, if not more, before the game actually started to install past like the first 10th of the installation bar, because it gets stuck in something called the updating component registration phase. And that phase can take hours and hours, and for some unfortunate gamers, that's where the journey ends. For me, it took an hour. I had read up on this, so I was kind of mentally prepared for this to happen. And well, there are ways that you can work this problem. I'm just going to mention them here because I don't think I personally will have to use them. But if you end up stuck in this phase and you realize that this is where your journey would end, then a possible workaround is to actually copy the entire content from the physical installation disk onto a local folder. So just create a folder of your own and name it whatever, and then copy from the installation disk into that local folder, and then you can run the installation from that local folder instead of off the disk. And if you do that, you can also pick to run it as administrator, and you can then pick I think it was like Windows Vista and Service Pack 2 as the mode through which you run it in compatibility, and that would for some people solve the problem and the game would install as intended. So I don't think I will be using that, seeing as the game is actually installing. But if you are stuck in this preparation screen and you think that, well, it's a dead end, that might be a possible route for you to go. Just wanted to mention that. Alright, so jumping ahead in time a little bit here, you can see that I'm finalizing the installation, and please wait, would you? So I think we are on the home stretch for this manual installation of Wolfenstein. And just for funsies, it probably took me an hour and a half to get to this stage. So patience, my friend. And when it's done, it just minimized. So I'm hoping, yeah, so I should probably show you. So this is the installation disk. This is the folder created under Windows, Program 86, Activision Wolfenstein, and we now have docs. We have MP. So this is the multiplayer. I will not be touching that in this guide. Not even sure if it's like any life science in that mode at all these days. But we also have single player. And here we have the actual game. So the next step I will do, and that I often recommend, is to start up the game. Just to make sure that everything is working, and also at some time, I'm not sure if it's the case in this one, but in many cases the game actually needs to run once in order to create up certain files. And some of those files you might want to work with later in the modding process, and you can't do that if the game hasn't created them yet. So next step in this guide is to start up the game and just make sure that it's running out of the box, so to speak. Alright, so we are now inside of the game proper, as you can see. First splash screen, and the only thing I've done so far is to tweak the audio a little bit in order to bring it down a peg or two, because it was very loud when I started the game up. And now I will do something that I often do in these videos. I go into the options and try to make it as good looking and as smooth running as possible with the tools available from the get-go. So sound, just show you what I have right now. And now let's head into video. And I think high is the highest, so to speak, but let's check it out anyway. Yes. So high, 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 enable, 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 anisotropic, and I pushed that up to the max. This first one, video mode on the display options, is, well, up to you what you want to have, obviously, but I will go for 2560, 1440, 16:9 refresh rate. I think 144 is, yeah, that's as much as it gets. And enable refresh sync and disable window mode. Do you want to keep these changes? You all say yes, I want to keep these changes. So I'm not sure how clearly you can see it on the video, but for me that was quite a change already, so I am happy with that. And this is just the brightness, and once again, this is one of those you have to get a feel for it yourself. There we go. I think that does it. Hopefully you can see the Wolfenstein logo at least a little bit. So with that, I think we are done.
General, we believe there is a spy aboard. Should we delay the missile launch on London?
Alright, so I left a little bit of the video.
I'm with the Castle Circle. Come with me. You'll come.
So before I was rudely cut off there, I left a little bit of the video in order to show you how it looked, and now we are in the game proper, and it already looks pretty good. But we will be applying a few mods to this game, and I wanted to show you this so you have something to compare with.
I found the American! Don't let him escape!
Quickly, down here. We have Kreisau agents waiting on the other side.
On your knees! Schnell! Where is he? Where's the American?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell us where he is!
I don't know. Wait, no! What's the informant, right? Was there an American on the train?
Yeah, but the Kreisau circle got to him first.
Thank you.
So I think this gives you a little bit of a feel for the game, and I just showed you one of the things that people aren't that thrilled about, and it's the very prevalent head bobbing when you sprint. So yeah, I'll leave you with this original experience, and we'll jump out and start modding the game. Alright, we are now outside of the base game, and it's time to start looking at all the other things that I briefly mentioned that I would do earlier. Once again, I have to remind you that I am using the physical disc version of the game, so we will not be looking at things that are tailor-made for Steam, although many of these things can be applied to the Steam version of the game. But at this time, I don't think that's even available to buy anymore, unfortunately. Anyhow, a good place to start, and the place I am starting at, is this place, and it's PCGaming Wiki, and it's the wiki for Wolfenstein. And as with all links in this video, I will be adding them to the video description, so you don't have to remember these or peer at the URL text field. They will be there. But this is a very good place to look if you want to have an overview of what you can put into this game or tweak inside of this game. There are a lot of things here that are of interest to some of you, and some that are of interest to probably all of us. And I will pick some of these and add them to our experience. So the ones I will be looking into are the ones connected to just upgrading the game with patches. So we will be downloading patch 1.2. We will also look on ways to increase the FOV slider and to reduce the head bob. And bundled into that solution is also a way to keep corpses after they've been killed, and to keep damage on the environment there for longer as well. And they are both to be found in two separate mods, but I think the best one is the newer version of one of them that have bundled them together. So we will be looking into that. We will also be forcing another level of anti-aliasing into the game. And as a nifty little bonus, we will put I think it's a pre-order DLC into the game, so that you have that when you start up. So yeah, the first thing we need to do is to get the patch file. So at the almost top of the page, you have access to a demo. I guess it's the original demo that is still there for your enjoyment if you want to try that out. But then we have patches, patch 1.2, and that's a link. And if you click on that, you'll come to this place. And if you click on download this file. So I got a bit lost there because they had thrown one of these. You have to agree to some stuff. So agree and download will give you the next window, and here you can pick the version for the patch, and you want the 1.2 patch. So that's the one I'm downloading. I've already done all of this. I'm just recapping what I've already done. So having done that, we'll return. You can actually close this down when you're done. So we're back here. A lot of these are of no interest to me. So if you want to skip videos, enable quick saves, that's on you to put into it. But this one is very interesting because that's where the locations for the config file, and the config file we need to tweak in order to put some of these things in. So on Steam, it's in the Steam apps folder, and you can go there by, I think, right-clicking on the game and then picking local files or something like that. But for this version, we are looking for the app data file, which is connected to your user on the PC. So we'll go there, but remember that this is probably the one that you're interested in if you're watching this video. I'll scroll down some stuff. If you are into ultra widescreen solutions, this is also one thing that you might look into more closely. And once again, this is done in the config file. This one we will add. It's anti-aliasing that we can bump up to 16 by finding and replacing a line in the config file. We will look at that. The FOV fix I will not touch from this page because the mod I am downloading from another place will fix all of that without some of the hassle that this has. Not interested in borderline full screen and high frame rate. I am cool with 144. And also they have disable head bob. This is not the one I will be using because it has some pretty nasty side effects, like sprint turned off entirely will break some stuff, so I will not touch that. And then they have the funny one, which is the unlock pre-order DLC, the Flammenwerfer. I think that's a flamethrower, so we will be putting that into there as well. And the permanent corpse we will also put in there, but not through this place. It's actually linking to the site where we are going. So yeah, from this page, I will only directly download the patch. Now, here we are on Nexusmods. I will actually start the starting page for that. And as you can see, I am logged in, and this is a pretty vast modding site, or community, I should say, where you can find content to a lot of different games. But if you just arrive there, I would highly suggest to you that you create a login, and it's free. You can pay for some premium stuff, but I think that only gives you faster download rates from their servers. So I have never paid for that, and I am rocking a free version, which is their way of checking that I guess it's a real person, and if you have an account, you can download content. So in the search field, just type in Wolfenstein, and you can see there are quite a few of them, but Wolfenstein 2009 is the one we want. Doesn't have that many mods, 5. And these two are both of interest, but this one, big FOV, small head bob, fixed. I think this actually takes the good things from this, adds it on top of the good things that has. So we will pick this one. Anyway, you can close this one down, because here we have the Wolfenstein Convenience patch. And I'll just read through. This is a quick and convenient patch for Wolfenstein 2009 that alters the FOV to 90 and reduces the over-the-top head bobbing when sprinting. So it's reducing it, it's not turning it off, which is critical. This mod is a combination of two mods, Wolfenstein 2009 FOV Fix by id228 and Wolf Redux 1.3 by the Unbeholden. So kudos to both of these gamers. They've done the lion's share of the work here. I am just putting it all together in a hopefully easily digested package. So what we need to do here is download the file, and you do that by clicking on manual. and then you can have the slow download. It's a very small file, so that should take no time at all. And when that's done, you can close this window and get back to here, and it basically says instructions. So extract convenience patch PK4 to the base folder of the game, and then we need to add this line to the target line, I think it's called in English, but we'll get there. This is the crucial line that we need to add, and it actually should trigger all of these goodies, because you can see in update 1.1 it says he has basically bundled in the things that was found in the other mod. So yeah, that's the good thing about that. So download that file. Now we have both of the things we need to download downloaded already. So we can actually, if you want to read what the permanent corpses thing does in more detail, you can open that mod up. But I will not be downloading that. But you can read a little bit about what it actually does. So having said all of that, we are actually done on this place for now. So we'll minimize that. So in order to make things easy for myself, I created a folder on my desktop called mods, and I put the things in there, and I've already extracted it. And the reason why I made a folder on the desktop is that if you drop it into the actual game folders, which is this one, you'll have to start tinkering around with admin rights, and sometimes you can't unpack things and change things and move things. So keep it outside as much as possible is my recommendation for certain. Now, we have this, and as a first, I would go into here, go into this, and then double click the patch. I've already done that, but it was simple enough. I just clicked on it and it opened one of those little installation windows, and you only had to agree to everything and it updated the game. If you're using the default path for installation, it was the same. So that was very smooth. And when that was done, this install document was created in the game folder, so you know that it has been updated successfully. So that was the first step. So now we have the game up to the latest patch, which is very nice. So for the next one, I unzipped that, went into here, had this file, and we need to drop this one into the base folder. And the base folder in here is found, it's back out. So Wolfenstein, single player, base. And as you can see, I've dropped the file into there as well. And we need to trigger the file. So in order to do that, if you are using the Steam version of the game, you can do that in the path when you activate the game. But for this version, you need to make a shortcut, and therefore I have this on the desktop. So that's my shortcut, and I call it Wolfenstein 2009, just for convenience sake. And when you put the path, make sure to pick the path that leads to Wolf2xe. Do that, and when it's done, you can right click on it, properties, and as you can see, we have a target line here. And if you remember the line we highlighted on the Nexusmod page, it's this. So where where the cursor is right now, that's where the original line ended. But so do one space and then add the line, just like so. And then click on execute and OK. And if it works, it will just close the window. If you've done something wrong, it will tell you that it didn't work. Also, if you have brackets around it, it will not tell you anything, but it won't work. So this is how it should look when you're done. So one spacing and then the plain text and then OK or execute. So having done that, we now have the convenience patch into play when we start up the game. Also, I recommend starting the game afresh because all of these changes kick in when you start a new level. So if you start the game from level 1, all of the good stuff is up and running from the get-go. Right, So that's that. Now we need to look into the config file. Remember that? So the config file is not located with the game folder, unfortunately, but it's here in this folder, and I'll just do that. So it's basically users and then your username, which can be whatever you've named it, app data local, and id software. And you can just paste that into the URL file or the file space here. And that will lead you to this space where Wolf SP should be located. So click on that. And then we have base. And in here we have Wolf config. And that's the one we are interested in. Yes, indeed. And here we have it. So it's now time to find some stuff and to change it. I've already done this, but I'll still show you which ones you are looking for. So for the anti-aliasing forcing, you need to look for this one. So like that. And when you find it, it will probably have 0. So put 16 in there if you want the maximum, and you can start with as low as 2. So that one will force another level of anti-aliasing into the game, and I picked the maximum for that. And also, if you wanted that funny little pre-DLC, you need to look for the following line. So let's replace that, and this one, Unlocked Flame DLC. So when you get there the first time, it's on 0. Change that to 1, and you will have the flamer when you start very early in the game. So you get, I think you actually get an in-game messaging that's congratulates you for pre-ordering the game or something like that. So you will definitely notice if it has worked as planned. So having done that, make sure to save before you close, and if you want to be 100% sure after closing the file, then I didn't do that, but you can always put it so that it's like writing protected, so that doesn't change anything by mistake, but I didn't do that. Anyway, at this point we have updated everything and changed some things, so it's time to head back inside the game and look at all the goodies that we have added.
Agent Blaskowitz? I'm with the Castle Circle. Come with me. Your cover is already blown here.
You! Here you are! The American! Halt! I found the American! Don't let
Quickly,
him
down
escape!
here! We have Castle agents waiting on the other side.
On your knees! Schnell! Where is he? Where's the
So
American?
everything is running.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell us where he is!
I don't know. Wait, no! Was the informant right? Was there an American on the train?
Yeah, but the Kreis outcircled Dr. him first.
General said there will be outrage.
That's why we have to find the American. Take your squad and search the engine house. My squad will continue searching this area.
Hey, we have some gold. So yeah. Everything seems to be working still. But to be 100% honest, I'm not sure I see a vast anti-aliasing change. But we have added it, so if it did anything, it should be in the game now. And it also didn't break the game, so that was
Agent Blaskowitz. I'm Eric Engel. I work with the Kreisau Circle. Listen, we don't have long. There are Nazis fanning out through the station. Somehow they know about you. But we can't leave yet. Turns out we've been handed an opportunity. A special operations train carrying experimental weapons is sitting at Platform 1. I hear you're up for a little diversion, so grab some weapons from this table and fall in. Oh, once you're in town, you can get more ammo and upgrades at the black market.
Awesome. So,
We're running out of time, BJ. Arm yourself and let's get moving.
just snacking up here.
Good, my friend. Now come. The special operations train won't wait long.
Here comes a patrol.
And as you saw, we have the bonus weapon. It actually said it. So that worked. And I think we will stay in here long enough to see if bodies and debris stay
I
put.
can't see a thing. Go inside and look, Dummkopf. The American is here. Everyone, let's go.
There's too many to shoot. Throw a grenade and let's move.
Everyone move! Don't let them flank you! I'm trapped by crossfire! Nice shot! Get down! Suppressing fire! Everyone move up! Over there!
So, I think we can almost say that it seems to be working because we have the bodies and we have the debris and it's staying put just like we wanted it to. So, the only thing I'm not 100% sure about is the added anti-aliasing. Maybe you can see a difference that I can't see as clearly, but the debris stays put, the bodies are staying put, and we got the pre-order weapon. And the head bobbing is better. And the patch is in place as well. So I think we are done with the modding for Wolfenstein 2009. Hopefully all of these little touches added together will give you a better experience of the game. And I hope that if you found all of this helpful, you might consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons because that would help me a little bit. Also, comments about how it all turned out are very much appreciated. But yeah, there we have it. The installation and modding guide for Wolfenstein 2009 is completed. Thank you all so much for following along in my installation and modding guide for Wolfenstein 2009 using the physical disk on PC. Windows 11. If you now have a smooth running game, I would love it if you click on those like and subscribe buttons, and I also look forward to seeing you again in future videos. But for now, it's time to say bye-bye.